And of course, what wasn't covered in the documentary was Jordan's return to basketball for a third time in DC. Can you
True.
share any memories of covering him in DC? Do you
Yeah,
remember when he said, "I'm
sure.
coming back again," in the ownership, and then again
Yeah.
as a player?
It was an odd group, and that's part of why it didn't work in the end here, because you still had the old guard and all of the people that Abe Pollin had hired over 3 decades. And one of the, it was one of the things I loved about Abe, and one of the things that drove me crazy about Abe was that he was so loyal.
Hmm.
Literally, Jamal, there were people there that were there when I started covering the team in 1988. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go, well, but they haven't been successful. Why wouldn't you fire them?
Hmm.
And they were still there in 2001, 23 years later. And I was just amazed by that, because most sports organizations, you get X number of years to be successful. And if you're not, then they get rid of you and they bring other people in. So you had that group who was very loyal to Abe for obvious reasons, right? And then you had Jordan's group who was very loyal to Jordan for obvious reasons, right? So you had this real clash of cultures, the Jordan people kind of saying, yeah, you guys have sucked. You should shut up and let us run the show. And the people that were loyal to Abe saying, hey, wait a minute, we're still here. We're still, we still have authority, and you have to respect our position. And so in the midst of that, you had Jordan deciding to play again, right? And kind of upsetting everything that they were trying to do in terms of bringing in young players and rebuilding through young talent, rebuilding through Kwame Brown and those guys that they had drafted, and Rip Hamilton and that group. And so as it had to be, it became about Jordan again,
Yeah.
which was to the detriment of those young guys. Now, you can be critical, and some have, say Jordan was too hard on Kwame and drove him out of, didn't drive him out of the league. Kwame wanted to play in 10 years, but drove him out of Washington, certainly.
Yeah.
And there's probably some truth to that. But as you saw in the documentary, that's what he did. There were two problems. He didn't have Pippen here. He didn't have a Pippen.
Yeah.